welcome back to Mind Over Matter. I'm your host, Sana, and today we have a mind blowing episode lined up for you. Our guest today is Dale Walsh, a man whose 50-year recovery journey from a serious mental illness diagnosis will leave you speechless, inspired, and ready to rethink everything you thought you knew about resilience. Now, listeners, let me share a bit about Dale with all of you. His story begins in 1975 when he was removed from Dartmouth College due to divine delusions that led to a 13-week psychiatric hospitalization. But here's the twist: Dale turned that chapter into a tale of triumph. From graduating college, writing powerful poetry, and thriving as an entrepreneur to developing his own live love therapeutic method, he's a living proof that persistence and faith can redefine your life. So, with that, Dale, sir, I'm so excited to dive into your journey. So, uh, thank you so much. And it's an absolute honor having you with us today.
Well, I appreciate it very much, Santa. Thank you very much. It's an honor to be here.
Great, great. So let's start at the beginning. How did your experience at Dartmouth and your diagnosis shape the course of your life?
Okay. Well, what happened at Dartmouth was I had a Dartmouth is an Ivy League college. It is like it's the elite. It's an elite college in the United States, and so basically, I had like a very successful academic year my freshman year, but I was also doing a lot of drugs. I was doing marijuana every day. But I was also dealing with other issues like LSD, mescaline, cocaine, stuff like that. So, in the summer after my freshman year, I continued after my freshman year. And in the middle of the summer, I came up with what I thought was a great joke, which was, hi, I'm God. And I thought this was like the most hilarious joke I'd ever come up with because how could God be 5'8"? So, I was walking around campus for about 3 days, telling everybody what I thought was my joke, and the campus cops came, and I actually was lighting a bowl of hash, and the campus cops said, "Are you Dale?" And I said yes, and they said, "Would you come with us?" I said, "Sure." And I figured they were going to take me to meet the president of the university, but instead they took me to the infirmary where I was interrogated for the next 4 hours by three sets of Ivy League psychiatrists. They put me in a room, shot me full of drugs, and 3 days later I was in a mental hospital in New York City with a roommate named Gabriel.
Wow. Wow. Thank you so much for sharing that, and I hugely appreciate your courage and vulnerability. Because yeah, it definitely takes a lot of courage to share the darkest moments of your life publicly. I mean, that too, on a podcast. So thank you so much. So also, you have been, this is a very interesting part of your journey. You have been living independently since 1981. So, what were the key breakthroughs that helped you take control of your life?
Well, in true answer to your last question, how did it change my life? I got out of the hospital after 13 weeks and came to a residential psychiatric program for adolescents and young adults where I spent the next 5 years. And Dartmouth wouldn't take me back for a year because of how I'd been, like removed. And so basically, I spent the next 5 years in a program where I was hospitalized 9 times for psychotic episodes. But I was given intensive therapy, both the individual. I saw the doctor 3 times a week, and my group therapy was twice a week. And so this was like an extraordinary program, just like there's never been and never will be another program like it, just because there was such hands-on communication between the therapist and me. Um, so basically, I was very fortunate in a lot of ways because I was basically forced to submit to therapy rather than being able to deny my illness, or what's known as agnosia, which is where you can't comprehend that there's something wrong. It's a symptom that affects 60% of people with serious mental illness. I had basically had agnosia for 10 years, but because I was in the program and everything, I was forced to get therapy, and that therapy led me to the point where when I left the program, I could live on my own, and I returned to college and basically had a very successful college career at another college, a local college, and a local major college. And so then I've been on my own since 1981 for 44 years now, and I'm very proud of that. And but I've sort of like been very lucky to have such an extraordinary history.
Lovely, lovely. That is bold. That is authentic. So Dale, when we talk about mental health or serious mental health conditions, uh, what kind of difference you see in terms of the reception or the perception from the society, the people around us, compared the people in 1975 or 1980s, and now in during the present times.
That's an excellent question, and actually, no one's ever asked me that, Sana. But so in 1975, uh, serious mental illness was like basically ignored or put under the rug of it by everybody, and psychiatry was basically in the dark ages. Schizophrenia was relatively recent diagnosis, and one thing about my case is that's extraordinary is people think that schizophrenia, you have hallucinations, and you hear voices and everything, and uh I've never hallucinated in my life, saying but I did have a delusion. My basic delusion was, hi, I'm God. And I didn't see anything wrong with saying I was God until I had an experience in 1984 where I saw the entire Earth like incinerated in my mind in a thermonuclear holocaust that basically, like, I called that the death of Dale, because the whole delusional system of my illness was incinerated in like one, in a nanosecond, and I entered a new era of my life. But I call that death of Dale, and people say, Dale didn't die; his body, you're still here, but the body survived, and I really think is like a bit of divine intervention that the death of Dale happened as it did because the body didn't die, but the whole personality structure of Dale was destroyed.
Oh, that's really profound, Dale. Also, what role did spirituality or faith play in recovery journey? Because what I believe, and I'm sure our listeners would also agree, spirituality, at an uber level, it's a very effective tool to kind of have a self discovery, to reconnect with yourself, to be authentic. So if you can share with us, how did it play a role in your recovery journey?
Well, one thing I used to say or quote a lot was a quote by Alan Watts, who was an American Zen philosopher, and he used to say, in America, if you say you're God, then they either lock you up or put you away. And if you say it in India, then they say, "Oh, you finally realized." So, I think in a lot of ways the mental illness is, it's cultural, but also in answer to your last question about 75 versus now, uh, mental illness is coming very much out of the closet, but there's still an intense stigma and prejudice against people with mental illness. And my whole journey, just the basis of my journey, saying I was God and everything, has at its core a spiritual, element. And what I've learned is that I'll be honest saying that I've never stopped thinking I'm God, even, despite the death of Dale and everything. I still think that, I'm God, but my view has changed very much, and that I now feel that every human is a fractal of God, and that we're all created in His image, so that we're all spiritual beings. Uh, but it's a matter of self-realization and realizing that the highest self of every person is basically God. But my spiritual journey has been one of basically overcoming my ego and a process of continuous, endless humility towards heaven to be worthy of the position that I've given myself.
Very rightfully said, sir. Very rightfully said. And also, you have created your own live love therapeutic method. So, can you tell us more about it? I mean, how did it come to you and how it is helping others?
Sure. So I got the idea about 7 years ago that I wanted to help the family caregivers of those with schizophrenia, because one thing I realized is not only how much hell I put my own family through with my illness, but also just how inadequately prepared and equipped most family members were for the onset of a loved one's schizophrenia. So, uh, the Live Love method is just something that basically was downloaded to me by God out of nowhere. But it's a therapeutic method. It's a 10 or 8 step program that I take my clients through. And Live Love is an anagram, which means learn, integrate, validate, explore, and then listen, observe, value, and express. And so basically, those are 8 steps that I take people through. And I just feel like divinely blessed that this came to me, because I think it's a therapeutic method that has the potential to be revolutionary and really change things in the therapy and the psychiatric and social work uh, fields. But it's just like the idea is to get to the point quickly, learn, and then by after 8 sessions to be able to express everything you need, so that ultimately the the client can reclaim themselves. I mean, the goal of my mentoring is to help the family members reclaim themselves from the trap of codependency that often comes with caring for a very sick loved one.
Wow, wow. That sounds really, really interesting, very effective. And also, Dale, you express your emotions through powerful poetry. So, for our listeners, would you like to share, any one of your favorite poems with our listeners. Maybe just a few lines. I mean, at least I would love to hear if
Oh,
it's
sure.
possible.
I love when people give me this opportunity, but I have like basically two introductory poems that I do. And this one is called Dale, which is a form Dale reviewing what actually happened, and it goes. I usually do this at the beginning as an introduction to what happened to me, but I'll do it now because you give me the opportunity. And it goes. Dale reviewing what actually happened. Hi, I'm God was a joke I made after killer Dartmouth toke of some primo Ivy League smoke, which apparently caused me to choke, because in mental hospital I awoke with Roomy Gabriel, the main bloke, who did my delusions angelically stroke, even while doctor claimed my brain broke, the moment divine gag I spoke, testifying I was only big quack with which was diagnosed as psychosis by no, I'm sorry. Uh I'm sorry. Let me
Yeah, yeah,
so
please.
okay, so it goes sorry. Um moment like that I spoke, testifying I was only big quack, classified as psychotic by uh suffering psychotic attack. Uh I'm sorry, I can't remember.
No worries. No worries, sir. No worries. I think you have given us a kind of a trailer, a quick sneak peek into the how power of words through poem somebody can share, uh, express the angst, the frustration, and also the transformations in their life. And I think, of course, our listeners would love to explore more about you, your powerful poetry, your lip.
Could I try again? I
Yes,
think
please. Please.
okay. So, High on God was a joke I made after killer Dartmouth toke of some primo Ivy League smoke, which apparently caused me to croak because in mental hospital I woke with roommate Gabriel, the main bloke who did my delusions angelically stroke, even while doctor claimed my brain broke the moment divine gag I spoke, testifying I was supreme quack, classified classified as a psychotic attack until I came to Teaneck Hackensack to pursue resident therapy program track and deal with my evident lack of reason among psychiatric patient pack who never gave me any flack. Under interrogation, the story didn't crack.
Lovely, 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 sir. That was really, really good. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for sharing. And I know it can be very difficult, but I'll still ask you, looking back at your 50 years of recovery, so what's the biggest insight you have gained about overcoming mental illness, and if you would like to share with our listeners?
Uh, well, just as a preamble to being getting sick, I'd say if I could live my life over, I wouldn't have done the LSD and probably not even the marijuana. But as for the key to recovery, of course, medication is essential. I mean, like there's a lot of controversy from people who haven't gone through it that medication is evil and stuff, but in my own case, medication has been like the foundation upon which I built my recovery, but also the need for an atmosphere and an environment of love, patience, faith, hope, and love, patience, faith, and hope is essential not only from the person towards themselves trying to recover, but also from the people that they are exposed to and the family members.
Wonderful, wonderful. This is a very wonderful conclusion to this conversation. Uh, so finally, if our listeners would wish to connect with you, sir, and explore more about your poetry, explore more about the services you offer, how they can do that.
Okay, well, actually, I have five poetry collections, including the one I just recited. It's on Amazon. You have to like basically search for them because they don't sell too much, but it's on Amazon under the name D period D dot E cut dot Walsh, Walsh. So it's D E Walsh, and that's actually my poetic name saying do. And so you can look those up on Amazon. I have a website. It's www.dew, which are my initials, www.dew livelove.net. And that's all one word. Do live love is all one word. And then I'm also available on Calendly if you want to have a free consultation to see if you want to work with me. It's at Calendly, www.calendly, calendly.com/Dale Coach 55.
Great. So we'll have all the details mentioned in the show notes so that our listeners can connect with you, sir. And thank you so much for this incredible, heartfelt, emotional conversation. Dale, your story, your journey of resilience, which grit and faith is one for the ages. So, to everyone listening, if today's episode taught you one thing, let it be this. No matter how tough the journey, you can rise above it with determination and love, as Dale said. So, Dale, thank you so much for giving us this opportunity to host you, to have you as a guest. Thank you.
Thank you, Sana, and I think it's been a very good interview.
Great, great. And to all of our listeners, keep tuning to Mind Over Matter for more deep dives into human strength, resilience, and transformation. To connect with Dale, you can refer to the show notes. You can go to his website, which is dewlivelove.net. It's single word, DEWLIVELOVE. With him. And also, don't forget to subscribe to Mind Over Matter. And I'm your host, Sana. Until next time, stay inspired and take care of your mind. Thank you.